From the LEONE Broadcasting Corporation Television, this is Good Morning LEONE, the program that always starts your day. I am Shaku Sumaila.
And a pleasant morning here at Broadcasting House. Hello and welcome to Good Morning Sailing. This program always starts today with analysis and views on issues of national concern. Well, we start the program with our quote of the day, which is from French author Antoine de Saint, and it says, "The meaning of things lies not in the things themselves, but in our attitude towards them." Coming up in the program this morning, the Sierra Leone Labour Congress expresses disappointment over the government's recent reduction in fuel pump prices, arguing that the adjustment does not adequately reflect the significant decline in international crude oil prices. Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs to host the second edition of the Design Freetown Week under the theme Designing Sustainable Futures. And the Women's Economic Advancement and Literacy Hub, where Trust speaks on their drive for large-scale financial literacy training and formalization pathways for women entrepreneurs. With these stories, including your messages, comments, and views, which you can send to the number on your screen. The number is 030-073-719, or you go to our Facebook page, slbc.sl, and you can also find us on all other social media handles with the same address. This is Good Morning Sierra Leone.
We are back, and the program you are still watching is Good Morning LEONE, live from Broadcasting House, New Englandville in Freetown. Now, the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, in partnership with Design Week Freetown, will host the second edition of the Design Freetown Week from the 1st to the 4th of July 2026 at the Bank Complex in Kingstown under the theme Designing Sustainable Futures. This 4-day event will showcase creativity, innovation, and solutions that shape Sierra Leone's path toward sustainable development. The Design Week Freetown has become a recognized moment on the city's calendar, serving as a space for dialogue, collaboration, and creative exchange where ideas meet practice and culture meets opportunities. Design Week Freetown 2026 aims to showcase how design and technology can support sustainable urban development, empower creatives and entrepreneurs through visibility, collaboration, and market access, and also strengthens the creative economy by connecting culture to commerce. Well, in the studio to talk more on this is the media and PR specialist, Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, Emmanuel Touré. Good morning, Dr. Touré, and welcome to the program.
Good morning and thanks for having me.
I can see you already started the week. I mean, the Design Week. By virtue of what you're wearing right now, it shows that you are really ready for the show. Tell us more about this Design Week.
Thank you very much.
What the package, what it entails.
Thank you very much, and I'm happy to part of the design and upgrade. And surprisingly, what I was talking about, the innovation and upgrading our system, SLBC, as just depicted that. I see the anomaly here improved through visibility. It's quite cool.
You can also see the
train, the bondodevil, and you see the traditional dressing, because our creators or innovators before and even now are not doing research for our typical dress code and all of that of Sierra Leone and see how best they can improve it. All we are looking at is a Western style and tell you, Taylor, say, design this for me. However, the significance of this day design free town cannot be overemphasized simply because we're looking at different various pillars with a view to enhancing our culture in Sierra Leone. And in the days of the SDGs now, the Sustainable Development Goals, we want the generation here to unborn to benefit from some of this of what we have. For instance, when we look at the creativity industry, the film industry, what we see there now is not depicting our traditional dress code, but rather some Western. And under our cultural artifacts, Sierra Leone, we need to show people how our tradition looks like. And that's a marketing strategy as well. So this conference aims at bringing people together, not for only for exhibition, but also to talk with them, dialogue with them as to how we can improve, our traditional dressing, our traditional clothing, our traditional food, and other areas, how we can improve on them using the new technology or innovation that we have at hand. The creators or inventors or the entrepreneurs in this businesses are few, and we want to multiply them and to come together and work as a team. Maybe togetherness is power. If they work together, they can come up with more innovation or creative ideas to improve the cultural aspect of
But then quickly, Mr. Tui, let us talk about, like for example, an identity. Like for example, now in Ghana, like for example, what we are wearing now is like the vugu. There is a vugu in Ghana, which has become a national dress. Remember the last time President Mahama went to Zambia, and the Zambians were saying, the way he dressed, it was like wearing a blouse or so, and it became very popular. And in fact, it has now become a national dress. So in our own case, how can we identify a particular, attire to be a national attire?
I am in the tourism sector, and this is what we're working towards. Quite recently, you had His Excellency visit Bonds Island, first in history for a president to go to Bonds Island there, official visit. It's showcasing, because the people themselves there felt isolated, those communities around the island felt isolated. If the president also can use our traditional dressing for certain public purposes, it will create visibility and people will want to imitate. This is why you see the last time there was a musical star at the beach area performing and used raffia as part of the dress code, right? And now I see women designing their dresses with raffia as official dress. So when the celebrities start to, put off what we are talking about, design free town, on Fridays, for example, and people see this best footballer around dressed in this LEONE, the guys, social learning theory, the kids will follow and other people will follow. It becomes a tradition. So, but when we say certain functions, you see us dressed in agbada and other things, it does not depict. You say my dress resembles something else. That's the mindset. So Leonians also can improve on our local weaving to the modern style, and this is why we have this innovative discussion.
Okay, Mr. Tule, you were talking about, my colleague was just talking about identity. In Ghana, we know Kente is associated with Ghana. Nigeria, they have their own. And even you were talking about our film industry. Even when our people in that industry do go out there to do their stuff, most of the things they are doing is like they are replicating what's happening in Nigeria and other parts of the world, especially when they want to do some traditional stuff. You see more of Nigerian identity than Sierra Leone. So what we need now is the Ministry of Tourism to lead us to an identity, maybe to say, okay, Sierra Leone, we know we have raffia, we have prints, but the question is, do you even have a print there as a Sierra Leonean? Because that is associated with the Creoles, but it's Sierra Leonean and stuff. So the question now is identity. How is the ministry working to make sure they come out with a particular dress code that, look, this is what we have agreed on as Sierra Leoneans? I could recall some years back, President Ernest Bai Kroma, he said Fridays we should be putting on our African dresses, and that has become a culture. Most of the time when it's coming to Friday, we begin to think, oh, wait, our way tomorrow, because tomorrow is Friday. So my question is identity. How are you working in that
Exactly,
area?
that's where we are taking you now, because this has been identified as a gap. And now to address this gap, we have to bring in innovators, the creative industry, all to come together. Those who have already done but they cannot produce en masse can, share their ideas. This is why this the Freetown design is all about. You come, we explain, and there and then when we make the resources available, people can start utilizing it. Let me give you an example in the entertainment industry. From the last reggae festival we had, Sierra Leone developed what we call the troop beat. Troop beat. Troop beat is out of our local instruments, the samba, the balanji, the this, the that, put together, and we created a beat. Now, talking about identity in that respect, it's not like the Afrobeat or so in the reggae style. Using our local instrument can be a form of identity to say this one was produced in Sierra Leone, which can be shared. It can be shared, people can use it for different composition, etc. Right? We had a competition recently on the troop beat, a beat that was developed using our traditional instrument. Similarly, for what we are having now, starting today, we are bringing together those creative in improvement in the print style than what we had before.
Yes.
Now, we don't have those industries producing them here, but there are creative people here who can say, well, let's improve on the print this way and even the style. And then they identify where it can be produced en masse.
So,
And there and then we can know this is, when you see print now, in this style is from Sierra Leone.
okay, so Mr. Ture, let's talk about inclusivity, because if you are hosting such conference, then you need people. You have a lot of them in the region.
Yes.
If you go to Kailan, you see the old man there
Yes.
doing his weaving. If you go to Kono, they have what they identify themselves with. If you go to Bond, this raffia thing that you are talking about, they do a lot of weaving there as well. And if you go to other places, in Makeni, you have the Karatai dyeing, which they are known for. So let's talk about how you're going to get these people outside Freetown and not only focusing on those in the western area, because they are the people on the ground. They know what they want to do, and therefore they should be the ones you should be talking to.
It will surprise you to note that we attracted all of these people you're talking about. Now, talking about Design Freetown does not mean it's only for Freetown. This is just like a pilot. We intend taking it around the country. However, we attracted various people. For instance, for those that are going to showcase their program, we had over 40 submissions from all over the country. 40 submissions. And then to have now, for instance, if this is the best, you may also wish to have that type of a dress or whatever as an identity for Sierra Leone. So we are bringing them. It's not only to showcase but to explain to other people that are interested to know how it was prepared, how it was made, etc. It's not just about the clothing. It's about our food. It's about the technology that we use to improve. Now, what we see here, I've not seen a woman like this before in this photograph. I've not seen that woman, but you are telling me now this was what happened. Our children here to Mbongo look at this was how our traditional people used to.
But then how do you enhance the financial capacity of the producers? You know, those in our communities who are actually doing this thing. For example, by way of marketing. how do you help them produce, the commercial quantity that will make their lives meaningful? Because I know you go to the facais, you see very old men. In fact, when the younger ones go to farm in the morning, they are the ones you see in the villages, weaving and all the rest of it. But then they don't have the capacity for that commercial quantity in terms of production. So how do you enhance them?
These are two things now in one you brought to me. One is financing. Two is to attract the young people to the industry. That's good. Let's take financing for instance. We never walk alone. Right. We have partners, sponsors on board that want to come. First, at local level, we identify first those engaged in it. And the financing aspect, like you read in your intro, is attracting visibility for those interested in that sector to invest in it, like you did for the media viability. You came out with your problems, identify the problem, and now you got sponsors to give you money to enhance your media work. So it's the same thing. We identify the people, and there will be a workshop to explain what their needs are. For instance, if you want to produce a mass, it's a business. That's why when you ready to talk, you spoke about entrepreneurs. There are people also with resources, but they want to invest in this, but they don't know the people they can contact. So it's a way of dialogue, bringing them together to see how best we can improve that sector. Now, technology is what is driving the whole thing today. You are gradually digitally migrating. You will agree with me. And this is for the future, because the analog you use it now, in the next 10 years, our kids will not be in that. Similarly, we want to migrate young people using this new technology they have at hand, right? Their digital means, etc., to improve. Now, for instance, before we had those machines, you call it zigzag, etc., a separate machine, and the other machine will be doing the sewing. Now, industrial machines are there that can do everything, and they produce thousands or hundreds per day. So we want to utilize those new machines to produce more country cloths, more food, and the innovation that they had at hand. So now the young people will not see it at that cumbersome work, sitting within just 10 yards per day, not to produce a mass.
But you also take into consideration, comparative cost advantage. For
It's
example,
all taken.
Because for example now there are certain regions we know, or that are known, for the production of some of these stuff. Yeah, probably cheaper than other places. Even though yes, probably the art is done in some other places, but there are certain places we know. But when you say, for example, Kailan, you know what comes from Kailan in terms of how some of these things are produced. But then in enhancing those who are actually involved in this craft, do you take into consideration?
That is all taken into consideration, Chico. I will tell you, my sister said here will help me probably to say, genetically modified food, in the natural, there are two different prices, because if you want the rich food, it's a separate cost. It's taken into consideration. That's why we are bringing them together with the investors to see it. I am specialized in doing this, but I was using my local machinery. I have the technology now to improve on this that you are doing, so it will bring your cost down, but we don't want to also take away the quality. The quality.
Okay.
So having that at the back of our mind, they are going to sit and dialogue over it. That's why we are creating visibility in that sector. Like she said, every Friday or whatnot, we put on our African. I want to see more of the print in an improved version. There are tailors here, they have the idea, but they don't know who to tell them. When you take your clothes there or dress there, now you need to tell them what style you want. And now, this time, they will show you the salon catalog. These are the salon styles that you worked on. And you want to produce them in mass? Do business. In fact, take them to UK and sell.
So, Mr. Ture, how many people or how many entrepreneurs are you, or is this conference catering for?
Now, in the analysis, we are expecting at Kintom, starting today at 12, you can be a teacher, you can be a proprietor or whatever. For those going to, participate, we are expecting over 400 in person, and we are having to, broadcast it online using the social media means for those who cannot access it. for over 437,000 digital spaces we're going to use, to transmit what is going to happen there. And we are going to have 16 speakers for various areas in terms of this innovation. And we are going to see 40 submissions of different things, food, clothing, etc. People are going to display it, and there's going to be also prizes for best, production or best presentations. So it's all going to be there. So it's not.
Are there going to be sessions where people will be discussing the different types of things that you want to see?
Sure. Workshops.
Who are the facilitators?
Facilitators are there as well to facilitate the program. It's dialogical. It's going to be, I present my innovation and tell you how I went about doing this, what the check will ask, the cost, looking at it, if we can improve on the quality, what would be the difference from the handmade to using the digital, what will that cost?
1 week is long. What will you be discussing?
It's 4 days.
4 days.
Today is the opening at 12, and each day lasts from morning to 5 p.m. Today is the opening, so after the opening up to 5 or 4, and tomorrow start them in the morning to 5 o'clock.
Is it an open event?
An open
you
event.
Just walk in to see.
You walk in to see.
Okay. But then, how involved, is the Freetown City Council? This is Design Freetown.
Yeah. And
we know the Freetown City Council is in
they
charge
of
this metropolis. So let us know how involved they are. Because as the name implies, this is Freetown, Design Freetown. So when you say that, what comes to mind is that the Freetown City Council is fully involved. How involved are they?
Just quickly, Freetown City Council is also expecting having partners to work with, and the ministry is part of the MDAs, and the team Freetown group is part of it. So the sector that we want to do, and Freetown City Council is very happy about, how do we improve on our culture using the new means of technology.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the ministry will be happy also to see somebody coming in how we can improve your sector digitally. You open hands to them. So in short, SLB, the Ministry of Tourism is pleased to work with the Freetown City Council to improve, and that will enhance visibility to promote sustainable development.
All right, thank you very much. He is Emmanuel Toure, and he is PR and Media Specialist, Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. This is Good Morning Sierra Leone. If you have questions, if you want to be part of the conference, do send them to the number on your screen, or go to our Facebook page, slbc.sl. Mr. Toure is in the studios with us. He will definitely answer those questions if they are in place. We continue with the program, and now the Olive Bee Academy will be having a 3-day girls boot camp from the 7th to the 9th July 2026. But for more on this, we have the founder and proprietress of the Olive Bee Academy, Olive Favor Bemba. Good morning, Madam Bemba. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Boot camp for girls. Why, how, and where?
Okay, so Olive Bee Academy is an all-girls boarding school in Kerry Town. Last year was our first year. Our first school year was 2025-26. And so we had a very successful first year of opening. And we have parents that wanted their kids to come for 26-27 school year. And so we have this session that happened last month wherein parents came in, potential parents with the students, get to know the Olive Bee Academy, stay on campus for 3 days, and see how the campus can best meet your needs. And so we have other parents that wasn't fortunate to attend that said, hey, we want to see if we can bring our potential our kids back. And so that's why we've opened it again from the 7th to the 9th for parents to come and see if the facility is a place where the kids can continue their middle and high school education.
So what and what will be discussed during this period?
Well, we have current students on campus, so pretty much it's a school that discusses education. But again, we cover a lot of topics. We get to talk to, especially the kids that have just recently sat the MPSC exam. Those kids will be able to ask questions on pathways. Are you science student? As student, they should be able to ask questions on pathways. They will be introduced to digital learning. They will be introduced to our robotic lab. They will be introduced to our computer lab, and just them getting to get the feel of what middle school and high school look like at the Olive B Academy.
Okay, is it a junior school?
We are both junior and high, so
All right.
we are JSS and SS.
Okay, so let's talk about how many people you're expecting, and I was just asking what will be discussed during that period, because you have parents coming. Are they going to stay on the campus of the school?
No, the parents are dropping off their kids. The kids are the ones staying, not the parents. Okay, so the kids are having 3 days of staying on campus, getting to know the Olive B Academy, because school is getting ready to close. So a lot of kids are not used to a boarding home, and so they're coming to see how do we run our facility, what are the expectations that we have, and how do we manage things within the facility. And so not only academic, but a lot of other things have to be done.
Well,
And
that is exactly, because we are talking about girls here, and there are certain values that you have to imbibe in them as they grow older. As they say, if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. But then if you educate a boy, it's just one person. So what are some of the values? Values that will be meaningful to society. Because at the end of the day, after they've gone through schooling, they are going for further schooling in colleges or universities, as the case may be. But then what is most important is that there is this phrase that you have to catch them young. So what are some of the values you actually place in these children, so that when they come out of that academy, they become better persons?
yes, and I think one of the amazing experience I've had with this venture that me and my husband has brought to Sierra is the testament or the testimonials from current parents that have kept their kids on campus. At the Olive B Academy, we have a saying there that your education gets you the job, your integrity keep you there, and how you honor your leaders promote you. And so we just don't teach education. We have another curriculum that we have there that is called the unspoken curriculum. And this is where they are learn how to be people of integrity, how to add value to their communities, how to carry themselves with respect and dignity, how to treat people with respect. I mean, the first 5 minutes you meet somebody, you can definitely make an assessment of who that person is. And one of the things we're teaching the kids at the Olive B Academy is treat every person with respect and dignity, because you just never know when you open that door who will be sitting behind it. And so they are learning that. Parents are giving us testimonials that is blowing my mind away as to when these kids return back home for holidays, how they are carrying themselves. Parents that were having issues with their children, how these kids are now behaving. And so it's a journey. We just started. This is our first year. Rome wasn't built in a day. We didn't start up with these kids from 0 years old to where they are now. We're getting them when they literally are now, young teenagers. And so to help to rebrand and help to refocus them is work.
But
and
this,
we are up to
this camp that you'll be having, wherein parents are invited to go see facilities on campus, where their children are being schooled. But then let us know what kind of relationship that exists between the parents and the teachers, for example, because yes, you are at the administrative level, at the apex of the decision making, but then the teachers are the ones who are always with the kids or the children. But then what type of relationship exists between the teachers and the parents?
So, someday you need to come visit Olive B Academy. I've been here now probably 3 or 4 times, and I really want a team from here to visit the academy. And because a lot of these questions can be answered once there's a visit to the academy. Your personal experience in that academy will really let you appreciate what is happening in Kerrytown. So one of the things that we've done at the Olive B Academy, our parents are very much involved. I am the kind of person that truly believe that It takes every department to be able to have a system to function correctly. And so you have the teachers, you have the parents, we have the people that mind our gate, we have our security team, we have our gardeners, we have our kitchen team, we have our housekeeping team that make sure the bathrooms, the showers are clean. All of us collectively are so in tune with what we want to accomplish at the Olympic Academy, and the parents are involved. One of the things that we have at the Olympidia is one channel of communication that filters down to our teachers, because we want to manage the relationship between teachers and parents. Of course, we know the struggle that we are having in our country, exam malpractices, a lot of crazy stuff that is happening in schools. And parents have to understand that, getting your child to just pass an exam, you are actually defeating the purpose of education, because that child is going to be challenged at some point in their adulthood. Okay. And so what we're doing in the Olympic Academy is creating a funnel where parents understand that they have to support their kids physically, spiritually, morally. We as the school understand that we have to do all three of that, but then educate them and then give them values that can help them really be great citizens.
But how much do you discuss, exam practice? Because even yesterday at the town hall in McKinney, no less a person than the president said it, but the quality exam practice, involving teachers. He even mentioned WAEC, and some other stakeholders, that it has been a challenge to the country's education system, because somebody gets out of the university or college from Sierra Leone, goes probably abroad, and there's an entrance exam, and the person, just because he has been going through some kind of dubious ways to get his or her grades, the person cannot perform, and it's a shame to the country. So how much do you discuss examination malpractice?
So we started first with the parents, for parents to understand that when your child take an exam and they score a 50, and that 50 they own it's their study. It allows for us, the school, to understand how to support that child. And so when we started our recruitment process here, which was 2 years ago before the school opened, we started our recruitment process. I make sure that we have these conversations, we have this open conversation and truthful conversations about exam malpractice. And we have a zero tolerance policy in our campus when it comes to exam malpractice. And we have put things in place. My kids were in the office yesterday, and they were looking at the cameras that are rolling while exam was going on. They currently are on exam, even though they are invigilators in India, but then we can see what is happening at that exam. Not only that, I believe is the communication. We are teaching value. Okay. I think kids now are understanding the value that it takes for hard work.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Bimba. She is the proprietress of Olive B Academy. This is Good Morning, Sierra Leone. We'll come back to you to talk more on the boot camp. And we are broadcasting live from Broadcasting House, New Englandville in Freetown. And we now take our health tips for today's program. And in today's health tips, we take a look at why gardening is good for you. At first glance, gardening may not seem like a workout or a wellness routine, but this activity affects nearly every part of your health, from your mood and brain function to your muscles and bones. Take a look at this video and learn from it.
Back, and the program you are still watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone, live from Broadcasting House, the Englandville in Freetown. We are back, and I hope you learned a lot from that health tips, because it is really essential that we keep ourselves healthy. The things that we must do, and
And
the things
Sheku,
that
you
we
should
mustn't
be
do.
involved in a little form of gardening. That's what the video is telling us.
A little
That you
bit.
should involve, you should get some back house gardening so that
You know,
you'll be doing some activities.
I grew up in this capital.
Mm.
I knew when we were very young, we saw. I mean, there were backyard gardens,
Mhm.
you know, in this capital. But nowadays, because of this quest, you know, because of the house rent is now very high, so everybody wants to build a house.
All right.
So there are no more backyards. Where can you have your garden? You know.
Mhm.
And that is what it is. But then
So-
we continue with the program. And we
Yes.
still have Emmanuel Tugui, the communication specialist in the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. Now, quickly, talk to us about should I attend this particular event? What should be my expectations? What should I expect?
Well, it's open actually for the attendance. You only need to go on website designfreetown.com and you register. You register to be a participant, and that's all.
Okay.
It may interest you to learn more than what I'm talking about. I'm just giving a summary,
Okay.
and you will like to be there always.
Mr. Ture, thank you very much. We'll come back to you. We will now go to one of our headline stories as the Sierra Leone Labour Congress has expressed disappointment over government's recent reduction in fuel pump prices, arguing that the adjustment does not adequately reflect the significant decline in international crude oil prices. The Labour Congress acknowledged the government's response to its earlier appeal for a review of fuel prices, but described the latest reduction as insufficient, stating that while fuel prices were adjusted downward, the reduction remains marginal compared to the drop in global crude oil benchmarks, including Brent crude. It warned that the disparity continues to place financial pressure on workers, commuters, businesses, and households already grappling with high living costs. But what more is the Sierra Leone Labour Congress calling for? In the studios with us this morning, we have Edward Kamara from the Sierra Leone Labour Congress. Good morning, Mr. Kamara. Welcome to the SLBC.
Yeah, good morning and thanks for having me. Good morning, listeners and viewers.
So we saw a press release from Labour Congress, and government, one will say, government has answered to your call to reduce the fuel price, and now you are saying that yes, they've done that, but it's not enough to match what is happening with international standards. What more do you want?
Yeah, thank you. From your intro, you made mention of workers, businesses. So all our life has been negotiation. We're going to negotiations. We put our position. We negotiate. Sometimes when we put our position, and in the negotiation, if the employer gives us what we are not satisfied with, we'll say no. We'll continue the negotiation. So that has been our life all this way. We always go for what we want. We have our target based on the consultation we've held with our members. And then we also have the Employers Federation. They are our partners. So they've been raising several concerns. And we too, as Labour Congress, have met with the President on several occasions to discuss national issues. And among the many national issues, there was a time we published a report or a press release on the cost of living of this country. We had a meeting with the President. He was quick to address that particular issue. We also have this issue of the minimum wage, where we discuss it with government, the President specifically, and in our last May 2025, he was the one that gave the directive that we should go into the review of the minimum wage. Now we have a minimum wage of 1.2. That also is not that enough, but we accepted because we got it out of the negotiation. So now we're calling on the governments. Initially, Labour Congress, we don't engage with ministers, except with the Minister of Labour, who is an exception. But most times we rely on our unions to engage. So in this regard, when you talk of the fuel issue, we have 3 of our affiliate members union who have been in that committee over time, the motor drivers, the bike and the keke, and they've been discussing. But this particular one, we've noticed that government was giving deaf ears to the demand or the call for the price to be reduced, noting that there has been a reduction in the world market. We follow that from 120, 110, 90, 85, and now it's around 72. So we were expecting government to have made their own reduction, because we're in agreement that when the price goes up, we expect an upward shift. So when the price is also coming down, we were expecting the same.
So,
But
Mr.
out of the delay, that's the reason why we decided this time to send a letter to the Minister of Trade, who is the key in that particular sector.
So, Mr. Kamara, now that government has removed two leones from petrol, and 5 leones from diesel, and you still have citizens, you still have the public saying that it's not enough, it's not commensurate to what was increased and what is happening out in the international world, especially now that the Straits of Hormuz have been opened by Iran, and the arrangement between Iran and that of the US, even though it's not stable. You wake up in the morning, you hear another story from US and that of Iran. But how often do you engage these stakeholders, especially when it has to do with the issue of bread and butter? Because the fuel is a commodity that no one lives without. You can't, because if you do not have a car, you have to use a public transport. You have to use fuel to do other things in your home. So this is a very, very, very sensitive commodity, and it has to do with the issue of bread and butter. How often do you engage them?
So to reach the decision for us to write government was out of consultation. And as you said, we are representing workers. And they are now saying this 2,000 reduction is significant. This 2,000 reduction is like they are provoking a situation. So we are waiting on them. As I tell you, we hope to meet.
When have you been scheduled for a meeting with government or any other stakeholder in this?
Well, unfortunately, after we sent the letter to the minister, we didn't get any acknowledgement from him, neither all those that we copied.
Until this moment.
Up to this moment.
Okay.
And then we met yesterday, some of the leadership we met, and we're also planning to meet. Hopefully we'll meet, and then we'll get the mandate from our members.
So what will you do if they continue to give deaf ears to what you're requesting for?
Well, I would say here that I was online with the communication minister yesterday, and he said that we should have waited for them. It's just a 2-week window. They are planning to do a review. They are studying the situation, the uncertainty. These are all words that we had from him. I am in agreement with him with regards to uncertainty, that we are not sure whether the fuel price will increase again, whether it's a tendency, but we're hoping.
But why not make use of the moment?
Yeah, so that's what we're saying. If we were at 28, we moved to 30 into 35, and now the global price is going down, let us be going down. We're okay. So we're dancing within that trend.
But then, Mr. Kamara, do you also take into consideration the fact that, looking at the fragile nature of this truce between Iran and America, today, Trump will say, no, the war has ended. The next morning, you hear the bombing in places in Iraq, and then the Iranians also responding by, targeting American bases in Kuwait and some other places. So the fragility of this accord, is something that, because the uncertainty surrounding this particular deal is something also that people are talking about. That, yes, even though officially there was this peace deal, and the Strait of Hormuz is supposed to have been opened or reopened, But that's not the case. Just a few days ago, we saw Iranians attacking, vessels, tankers, on the seas of Hormuz. So it's like, let us not rush, to have this. This significant drop in a reduction in prices, because we don't know what happens tomorrow. So the uncertainty is also an issue here. Don't you think so?
I am in agreement with you, but let me also tell you that the war is yet to end. That war will continue. It started over 20 years ago, so we're not going to base our argument on the war. We all be informed also that we do make reference to our neighboring countries. When there are issues, then we'll say we are the cheapest in the sub-region, we are the highest in the sub-region, and then sometimes we compare likes. What is happening, the reduction in Ghana, the reduction in the Gambia, the reduction in Liberia, very close to us. So we're also taking note of that. Government should also take note that yes, if there is a reduction, they will be affected. We appreciate them for doing that over the years. For example, rice was around 1,000 leones, and they reduced it to 700. They've maintained that. We are happy for that. So we are calling on government. The unfortunate thing we're having here is that ministers of government, MDs, some of them refuse to take the responsibility. For us, Labour Congress, when we meet with the first gentleman, we want to discuss things on a higher level, things that we know ministers.
But then now, I don't think since the signing of that deal, between Iran and America, there has been new stock coming in. I want to believe that most of the stock that are in country right now in our storage facilities, the stock is an old stock, and no new shipment has come in. So
I don't want to go into that.
So what I'm saying is that now out.
Let's also go into that.
No, it has to be considered as well.
And new.
Because now
another range of discussion like old stock versus new stock. What I want to tell you here is that I signed an agreement yesterday. Whenever we go into negotiation, we hardly go into negotiations without getting significant increase on the salary of our members. Yesterday, the postal and telecoms, the public utility, we signed an agreement with just 10 million increase. You know the reason for that? The businesses are complaining. The cost of fuel, the increase in the price of fuel, the cost of doing business. I was in Pojeon a few days ago. Whilst coming back to Freetown, Tunusubia to Bo, I met with somebody who told me that their company, they are using 500 liters per day. You know the cost of that? Workers are expecting increments on their salaries. You know the effect that will create in their families. You don't know how many families are suffering in this country that are going without 3 days meal. I was listening to the presidential spokesman yesterday. Some time ago, he was saying they used to eat just 1 time per day. But that's not the society we have now. The society we have now, our children want to eat breakfast, want to eat.
But the thing is that
fuel is the bloodline of the economy.
In fact, any increase, in the price of fuel, most times leads to a cost push inflation, because at the end of the day, the ordinary man, us the buyers, the consumers, we are the ones who are going to bear the brunt of whatever happens when there is an increase in the cost of fuel, because it has its own multiplier effects. For example, if anything touches fuel, it touches every one of it. You understand? So now, because of this cost push inflation that is caused by the increase in the price of pump price of petroleum products, it is having a multiplier effect over the place. You go to the market, even the woman selling paper will tell you, no, transport don't go. Because
so now you're talking, sir.
So that's
the reality. That's the reality. Now you're talking. Can we continue this way? What is the intention of them coming to government? Is to make the life of people better. What is the intention of those who are now yearning to become president of this country? And they are the very ones that are sitting on that panel to say we don't have control.
So, Mr. Kamara,
should be in charge?
Mr. Kamara, I don't know if this is going to be a new trend or it's going to be a U-turn on the part of the Labour Congress. Many people think you've really not been the Labour Congress that you are supposed to be, because now you've written letters to them and deaf ears have been given to you according to what you said. And the next time we'll see you meeting with them, and at the end of the day, nothing comes out of this. How sure are you that this time around you are not in anything called a relationship to pamper government or those that we voted for to lead us and lead us well?
So let me make you know that we are part of government. We do represent our members in some bodies, in some boards. So we are part of government. We are very much aware of what is going on in the government. So now we've raised this concern that governments do more reduction. We've raised that one. And we also written to the president. Let's assume the president called us and the president was prevailed on us to say, okay, give us some time, we're going to do another review. You know, let me tell you this, that Labour Congress, we don't have a mindset, and people used to say the Labour Congress before, it's not the Labour Congress now. Correct, because now we believe in what we call the social dialogue. We meet, we discuss, and we move on. So now we've given them, we've sent a letter, we're waiting on the president, we're aware that he was up the region yesterday, having these town hall meetings. Most of them were there. So today will be another busy day for them because maybe some of them passed the night in McKinney. So no matter what, we're expecting to meet with them. So if we meet with them and then they explain to us, or we are able to get a further reduction of the price, then I think we're fine.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
So what if they fail to do that? What will you do?
If they fail to do that, we're meeting tomorrow as a committee.
All
Right.
right. Thank you
Fine.
very much, Shekwa. I think it's time for us to go through the
Yes,
papers
and because
before we
of
go back to our
time,
guests. Yes.
because of time, I suggest we take a headline by newspaper, and I start with the Salon Times. And the Salon Times says, "Law school gets new director." Here you can see, I mean, somebody who I have one of them actually in the legal field in this country, Madam Hadi. She's now the new or the acting director of the Sierra Leone Law School.
All right. From the is that the Salon Times?
Yes.
From the Salon Times newspaper, we go to the satellite newspaper. Satellite newspaper ahead of APC constituency and district elections. By Mahmoud Camp braces for another victory. These and more you'll find in the satellite newspaper.
Well, from the satellite newspaper, I move on to the Africa 24, which says broken ambulances, mile 91 in crisis. This story and more you can see in the Africa 24 newspaper.
From the African 24 newspaper, we go to the Modern Seas. The Modern Seas Chief Minister calls on Africa to use technology to drive equity. These and more you'll find in the Modern Seas.
Now, my final paper, I don't know the list here, is the Echo newspaper, and it says, as Samora Kamara and the Electoral Justice Movement remain a thorn in the flesh, APC unite or die. This story and more you can see in the Echo newspaper.
From the Echo, our final paper for today is the Standard Times newspaper. Standard Times, when a dispute moves beyond the university and beyond crude oil, the untold story behind Sierra Leone's fair price reduction. And finally, Justice Fatmata Bintu Aladi appointed acting director of Sierra Leone Law School. These stories plus more you'll find in the Standard Times newspapers, and those of you interested in the World Cup and other sporting activities going across the world, you grab these newspapers, you definitely get yourself a happy reading. We must remind the public that views expressed in these newspapers are not the views of the SFBC. We are merely reviewing what the papers are saying. We continue with the program. We still have Madam Olive Bemba, proprietress of Olive Academy, in the studio with us. Boarding school, many parents do not believe in it because of one reason or the other. Maybe because of past experience and or what they've gone through. How different is yours?
So one of the things that I tell parents, immediately your child left your house to school, you have no control. You're talking about almost 10 hours. That child taking transport, coming to school, and only God knows if they make it to school, and then going back. So when you talk about the boarding home, what we have managed to do at the Olivier Academy is create a safe and nurturing environment we are very much aware of all of the disadvantages, not only in Sierra Leone. These disadvantages are global disadvantages to the girl child. And so what we have done is we've put systems in place to be able to combat some of those situations and have a dialogue with parents on those situations.
Who are allowed to attend this boot camp?
Only the students, only the girl child. It's 100% girls boarding school. So only the student that comes. So that's the GSS.
No, the camp.
The camp, that's the camp we are
Yes, it's GSS 1 and SS1 and GSS 2. So from 1, the kids are just recently took the MPSC exam, the one that are going to GSS 2 and the SS1 students.
Right,
those taking the Beke.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Madam Bimba, and she is the proprietress of the Olive B Academy. Now, quickly, in few seconds, Minister of Tourism. Now, the Freetown design. Quickly, in few seconds, what are the expected outcomes? Quickly, in very few seconds.
To create visibility for our local business enterprises in Sierra Leone. Innovators will have a time to share their ideas and discuss with people that are interested.
Okay.
But a breaking news that I have for you is that Sierra Leone emerges among Africa's fastest growing tourism destinations in a global.
All right,
Okay,
we'll have to
thank
go
you.
to
Yeah,
tell us how you are
thank
going
so
to
much.
market that and
That
let
is
people
going to
know
be a
about it.
different kind of
Mr.
an
Kamara.
exclusive interview.
So you must
Yes,
congratulate
but right
us.
now, Mr. Kamara says they will take another action if government fails to adhere to their demand. Quickly, in 1 second, what do you think should happen after, if, for example, government fails to adhere to what you are demanding?
We are waiting for members to give us the next step.
All right, okay, thank you so much, and that is how we say goodbye. It has been Good Morning Sierra Leone, which came to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation Television. Many thanks to the entire production team, especially producer Daphne Zainab Kamara. I am Sheku Smile.
And my name is Francis Pan. And many thanks to our guest, Olive B, and Mr. Ture, and that of Mr. Kamara. Do have a lovely and wonderful day. Good morning.
As a mother of the house, whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done, and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, it's amazing. This is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. And this is Nkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruit and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available brown gold natural cocoa powder, sunny gold brown sugar, neat fufu flour, shito, pisa and moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Nkulenu palm soup base.
Ghanaian original taste.
Across Saloni, more people are asking the same question. Why buy fuel anywhere else when Cornex gives you more? Professionally trained attendants who know service matters. Honest fuel. A litre is a litre, every single time. And when it's time to pay, easy. Pay with mobile money, Visa or MasterCard, or the Cornex fuel card. Clean restrooms, welcoming spaces. Every station, every time. Clean fuel, clean spaces, clear value. That's why Sierra Leone fuels with Cornex. Cornex retail outlets. Always clean, always professional, always for you. Fuel smart, live smart. Get your Cornex fuel card today.